welcome back to my channel. It's looking pretty fabulous, right? This is, of course, day 5 of the 5 days of curls. Now, I thought I would end this with something super practical and helpful. I have talked about this a little bit. I've even done a video about this, but I still receive questions, and I figured let me just devote like a whole video for this to finish off this series. So, how do I sleep at night with my curls, and how do I, make it look decent for the next day? Of course, with fine low density curls, when we sleep, our curls tend to get crushed or stretched, and it's hard to get many days out of our curls, so that's just the fact. I did share a little while ago that this has been my new go-to routine, and so I want to show you realistically what we're working with as I get up. So as you probably noticed, I sleep with a satin bonnet on my head. I like this one that has like the thick elastic around it because it doesn't really fall off that way. In addition to that, I do sleep on a satin pillowcase as well. For the longest time, I used to do the pineapple thing at night. So you put all of your hair forward into one ponytail at the top, and then in the morning take it out. I found for me that would totally stretch out all of my curls, and when I took it out, the only ones that were really remaining were the ones near the top. And so as I cut my hair shorter, I started thinking of like what was more realistic for me, and this is what I came up with. And to be honest, this is probably what I will continue to do regardless of the length, because it just makes the most sense for my hair type. I section it off into 3, and when I take these out, it's preserving the curls that are framing the face a lot more. And that's pretty much, if we're honest, what we care about the most. Now, I've also found that using scrunchies tend to keep the curls looking a little bit better as well. In the past, I used just like elastics, but it gives a bit of a dent into your hair. And so I find that this makes the curls last better. So I just do this to slide it off. And sometimes they're like, depending on how I'm sleeping, they're just completely flattened to my face. So what I do is I just take it off. Like this one is kind of crushed a little bit. Slide it off carefully. And then I don't really touch it for a little bit. So I will just take this off. And then I just leave it for a second. Like kind of just leave it for a second just to kind of catch itself. And usually what happens is I'm moving around and stuff, it starts like falling back into shape a little bit. What I'll do is kind of shake my head before I touch it much. And I'll show you what the back looks like because I know that would be helpful. So it's going to be pretty flattened, I would think, because of how we're sleeping, and then it's cold, so we're going to have to bring out the volume. And of course, I'll be using my Afro pick to bring out the volume everywhere. Now, many times I don't apply any extra product. I kind of gauge it depending on how my hair looks. If it's looking a little bit on the dry side, I might go in with a very light oil. The oil that I use is called Righteous Roots. Looks like this. I also use this for hair growth, and I will do like scalp massages every once in a while using this as well. It is lightweight, which I like, so I can just use, I would do like 2 drops. And I'm going to do it today just so you guys can see. I don't focus this on my roots at all, just at the ends. And I will just lightly coat the ends. And a little scrunching action, and that's it. Personally for me, and this is just a personal preference, I don't really like to spray to refresh, like do a spray refresh thing. For me, I don't know what it is. It's either I'd rather just rewash it and start again, and maybe it's because the wash day experience with fine hair is not like crazy tiring and long. So for me, it's like, why don't I just redo it? So yeah, I would either just do this. Maybe if anything, I will apply a really light gel, like perhaps the We Dad Heat and Humidity Gel and do the same thing where I just kind of coat it, scrunch, and that's it. But I don't really do the whole thing of like taking a water bottle and like adding it a little bit and like, you know, recurling some pieces. For me, I just don't do that. But I know a lot of people do that. But for me, I just rather restart again, if anything. So now I'm gonna go in with my Afro pick and I'm gonna lift at the roots. Lift, lift. Just going in and lifting. I'll spend like maybe 5 minutes or so doing this. I like really take my time and go all over my head. Because even though I don't have a lot of hair, I feel like I want to maximize the volume of every single hair follicle that's growing out of my head. And I find it quite effective this way. You'll already see how much volume is just happening at the top, even though it was quite flat. And again, I think a big part of this is because of sectioning it off and doing like the three pieces, because in the past this part wouldn't be so curly after sleeping. It just wouldn't, even, you know, like in the pineapple, it would have stretched out very quickly for me. I think a lot of people get the impression, just because you're looking at flat pictures most of the time or just certain angles, when you see people online and you're thinking, wow, they have so much volume, how come I don't have it? The reality is, especially if you don't have high density hair, the volume is happening at the front. But if you look at the side and the back, as much as I may try to get it to fluff up and stay, it's just not going to as much as the front. I have the shorter bangs in the front, so that's going to happen. Shorter layers will help as well. So if you have shorter layers in the back, it can bring it up a bit. But, you know, reality is, for most people, and to be honest, I've seen people with thicker high density hair out at events and stuff, and I've looked from different angles, and they have the same thing too, where the front is like big, and then the back, it does fall a bit as well. It's just reality, okay? It's not always going to stay up, you know, all day long. It falls, it falls. Now, I will let you know a little tip. These little jaw clips, if you do have an event or something where, you know, you want your volume to stay without having to touch it every second, this is a little option that you could do, where you can go in, pull up your roots. Obviously you want to do it in a way that you're concealing it pretty well. Look, I just pulled up my roots with that, and it's just staying. And I'm not even doing this in a proper mirror, so I can't see perfectly. But you can do, if you get colors that, you know, really blend well with your hair, they are so tiny that you should be able to conceal them really well. And then, you know, you could have that volume that you want without having to worry about it falling flat all the time. I mean, just play with it and make it work. But I just wanted to give you that little tip, because it's something I tried recently, and I thought, you know what, this could actually work really well, especially for photo shoots, so I don't have to, in between shots, always take out my Afro pick and like shake it out and stuff. I could just have it done, and it would actually just stay for a while. So I just wanted to share that with you. And this concludes my 5 days of curls on my channel. I hope you guys really enjoyed this series, and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please let me know below. I would like to know which video was your favorite, which one was the most helpful for you. Also, my goal for 2020 is to do at least 2 videos a week, and I'm thinking it's gonna be hair as one and probably style fashion as another one, and then every once in a while we'll switch it up with maybe something different based on requests that you guys might have. Now, my question to you, is there a certain day of the week that you prefer to watch videos? If there is, please leave it in the comments below, because that will help me kind of figure out what schedule I would like to be on. Now, to keep up with me daily, you can find me on Instagram at Sharmzy, and if you don't have Instagram, then you can like my Facebook page, Miss Sharmzy, and see all of those posts over there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!